Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 optical illusions that will make you lose your mind. Sometimes things are not as they seem. As smart as our eyes and brains are, sometimes they can bend reality without you even knowing. These are some of the most clever images that trick your brain, and I guarantee you will be stunned after trying out these illusions. So be sure to like the video and subscribe, and comment "I subscribed" and I'll try to reply. So, coming in at number 10, we have floating stage. When you first look at this photo of a woman giving a speech on a stage at the beach, you might assume this is photoshopped. She appears to be floating in midair, standing on a carpet that looks like a prop from Aladdin. But the speaker is actually on the ground, and the shadow that is cast is actually from a flag off camera. The reason why we assume the shadow belongs to the stage is because our eyes and brain naturally want to connect the shadow to something that we can see, because we can see the stage but not the flag. Also, it's a massive coincidence that the flag is the same shape as the stage, and the flag pole is the same shape as the microphone. Put all of these factors together and you have one mind-bending optical illusion. Next up, we have hidden photo. When you first look at this image, chances are all you see is a bunch of black and white lines. Well, there's more to this image than meets the eye. There's actually a hidden photograph inside this image. If you want to see the photo inside the lines, just shake your head. And as you're shaking your head, you'll be able to see the image of the man hidden inside the black and white lines. This happens because our eyes lose focus when we look at a pattern. However, if that pattern becomes distorted, say by you shaking your head, then you'll be able to focus on it more clearly, therefore seeing what's behind it. Have fun showing this hidden image illusion off to your friends. Just try not to get too dizzy. Next up, we have repeated woman. You might not know this, but your eyes have a special superpower, that being the ability to copy and paste images, and to see colors that aren't even there. Take a look at the image of this woman, but be sure to focus on the yellow dot on her nose. Keep looking at this for about 15 seconds. I'll count us down, but after I've finished counting, be sure to look in the white space next to the woman. Okay, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now quickly look at the white space. Did you see it? If not, skip back and try again. But I'm sure what most of you saw when you looked in the white space was an image of the woman, but in normal colors. So how do our eyes do this? Well, the image on the left is in negative color mode, which is how our eyes store images. But if it's already in negative color mode, then this tricks us into storing the image as the full color version. Now, who says humans aren't amazing? Next up, we have beach bodies. This image of two women doing an exercise on the beach may look normal at a first glance, but look a little closer and you'll see this is a bizarre optical illusion. It appears that the bottom legs begin to the woman on top and the top legs begin to the woman on the bottom, and the women also make a bizarre pattern that looks repeated. What's actually going on in this image is that the two women are stacked on top of each other. The woman on the bottom is bending over and the woman on top of her is doing the same thing. It's simple once explained, but this is one image that creates more and more questions the longer you look at it. Next up, we have hole in hand. We've likely all seen sinkholes before, but what about a sinkhole in your hand? This image leads the eye to believe that the person has had a terrible accident where they have acquired a hole in their hand. But luckily, this is not the case. The hole is simply a piece of clever body art. The artist has used shadows and simply drawn the shape of a circular hole using body paint, a fine brush, and a lot of talent. It's still hard to believe that this isn't a hole, even after it's been explained. And this isn't the only artist who has created this amazing illusion. In fact, there's a plethora of amazing body art illusionists out there. Next up, we have winding tunnel. This is one of the oldest optical illusions in the book, yet still one of the most amazing. There's a lot of different winding tunnel illusions, but this one is proven to be the most effective at tricking our eyes. This is surprisingly a still image, but we all know that still images can't move. So how does this happen? Well, this movement is caused by something called motion after effect. It's what we experience when our visual neutrons get tired of receiving signal motion when really there isn't any. So our brains balance the motion they're experiencing with more motion in our eyes, creating the illusion. And the reason why our eyes don't pick up any movement on winding tunnel illusions when we're looking right at them is because our visual neutrons are too focused to receive any signal motion. Next up, we have 3 or 4. This is another very deceptive image. If you look at the drawing of the wooden planks from the right, you'll count 4. However, if you look at the same drawing from the left, you'll count 3. Well, before you guys start debating the answer in the comments, there's actually not 4 or 3 planks. As you can see, an extra line has been drawn in, making this impossible to crack. This is an example of a reversible image, and because of this, the image has caused many arguments online. Next up, we have word count. For this, I need you to do a simple task. Read out what's in this triangle. I'm sure you read Paris in the spring, but look again. Still didn't see it? Well, the text inside the triangle actually says Paris in the spring. This was made by a professor of cognition psychology. Their point was to prove that our past experiences make us less observant, and our brains go into a state of autocorrect when we're not being observant enough. So it turns out our knowledge is actually making us dumber. Next up, we have spinning silhouette. This illusion is an animation, and it can really mess with your mind. The animation is also commonly used on intelligence tests. If I was to show you this animation, you might assume that it's just a spinning silhouette of a dancer, but it's actually playing with your brain's visual perspective. Some see her spinning clockwise, counterclockwise, or even switching between the two. This is used to test which side of your brain is more dominant. If you see the dancer spinning right, then you're more creative and expressive, and if you see the dancer spinning left, you're more logical and practical. The reason it can play with your perspective like that is because it's a reversible image, which means it looks identical from both sides depending on how a person's brain is perceiving it. And the way it's used on intelligence tests is the faster you can switch between the two perspectives, the smarter you are. Next up, we have the impossible triangle. We all know that a dice has 4 sides. So how could they be used to make a 3-sided shape like a triangle? If you look at this image, you might wonder whether what you're seeing is 2D or 3D. Well, it's actually impossible for your brain to work out. The illusion occurs because our brains want to make sense of things, and therefore assume that all of the dice are touching, when in reality, they're just lined up at the right angle. The trick is absolutely mind-blowing, and you can recreate it with more than just dice. Just be sure to get the angle right, and you'll be able to melt your friend's brains. And that just about wraps up this video. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you can vote for the most mind-blowing optical illusion. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe.